Welcome to our channel Beast Whisperer. The town of Messina in Limpopo Province, South Africa, is famous for its peacefulness. But there are many stories of wildlife trafficking. In a small street here, Julius Makona lives with his wife and 2 children. Out of curiosity and love of novelty, Julius bought a lion cub from the black market at a cheap price. The transaction took place secretly at night in a deserted alley on the outskirts of the town. The lion was only a few weeks old, separated from its mother, in a frightened and weak state. At first, Julius proudly showed off his special pet to his neighbors via social media. He locked it in a small iron cage placed in the corner of the family's backyard. The cage lacked light, the space was narrow, the ground was damp, and it was full of unpleasant odors. The food Julius gave it was not suitable, consisting only of leftover meat, small bones, and cat and dog food. After a short time, the poor living environment began to destroy the animal's health. A few weeks later, its golden fur fell out in patches, revealing moldy and scab-covered skin. Its body was emaciated, its ribs and hip bones clearly visible, looking like nothing but skin and bones. Its once bright eyes became dull, its breathing weak and slow. The weak growl it once emitted disappeared completely, replaced by absolute silence. It refused to eat for days, not touching milk, raw meat, or any food. It just lay curled up, sometimes trying to stand, but immediately collapsing on the dirty floor of its cage. The skin wounds were swollen and pus-filled, and a strong stench spread throughout the backyard. Julius feared that if he took it for treatment, he would be discovered for keeping it illegally. Pressure from his wife and the suspicious eyes of his neighbors made him increasingly panic. One drizzly night, Julius put it in a torn cardboard box lined with a few scraps of food. He drove to the front door of the town veterinary clinic, left the box, and left in a hurry. In the darkness, the lion cub lay motionless, breathing weakly, waiting for the last ray of hope. The next morning, Veterinarian David Kumalo arrived at the clinic preparing to start his workday. On the steps, he saw a rain-soaked cardboard box lying alone in front of the door. There was no note or sign indicating what was inside. When he opened the lid, David was stunned to see an exhausted lion cub lying motionless. He immediately knelt down and placed his hand on its chest to check for a weak heartbeat. Without hesitation, David carried it into the emergency room and prepared resuscitation equipment. He injected a stimulant, administered fluids, and kept its body warm with a soft towel. A few minutes later, it opened its eyes slightly, trying to take a deep breath. David immediately called the local forest ranger and informed the Messina police. While waiting, he continued to closely monitor its weak breathing. 30 minutes later, Ranger Cypher Dlamini and 2 colleagues appeared at the clinic. Cypher examined it and determined that it was a lion about 3 months old, severely malnourished. It had acute enteritis, and if not treated promptly, it would die within a few days. The police took photos of the scene, took statements, and opened an investigation file to trace its origin. David handed the lion over to Cypher to take to Mapungubwe Elephant Sanctuary. In the car, Cypher gently wrapped a blanket around it to keep it warm. The car sped along the red dirt road leading to the sanctuary more than 40 kilometers away. At the sanctuary's veterinary station, the team of doctors began to develop a detailed treatment plan. They decided to fast it for a few days to stabilize its intestines, only giving it intravenous fluids and medication. Cypher named him Nuru, which means light in Swahili, in hopes of a new beginning. On the second day, Nuru was able to stand up and take a few weak steps. The doctors fed him soft, nutritious, easily digestible food so that his body could absorb it best. Each meal was carefully weighed and recorded to monitor his recovery. His fur began to grow back, although it was still sparse and uneven in color. Cypher visited him every day, talking to him so that he could get used to the presence of humans. Nuru began to respond to calls, coming closer when he saw Cypher. A week later, he was able to run a few quick steps in the small cage. The doctors moved him to a spacious, semi-wild area to practice survival skills. Here, Nuru learned to hunt fake prey and practice reflexes like in the wild. His eyes regained their brilliance, and his body grew stronger and more agile. Cypher believed that with more time, Nuru would be ready to return to the wild. The team began preparing for the crucial release phase. While Nuru recovered, Messina police followed leads to find the trafficker. They discovered a notorious wildlife smuggler on the Zimbabwean border. He was arrested along with his confiscated goods and illegal trade network. Julius Makona was also summoned and questioned. Shortly afterwards, both were brought to the Limpopo Provincial Court on charges of wildlife trafficking. The evidence provided by the Rangers and Dr. David was enough to convict them. The court sentenced each to 1 year in prison and banned them from keeping wild animals for life. The case became a hot topic in the local media. The people of Messina became more aware of the consequences of illegal captivity. Nuru became a living testament to the pain caused by the animal trade. After a month, Nuru had regained his healthy figure, strong muscles, and shiny golden fur. He had mastered hunting small live prey in the training area, demonstrating strong natural instincts. Cypher was proud to see his growth every day. David still visited regularly, bringing toys and treats. Whenever he saw David, Nuru approached him, rubbing his head against his hand in a friendly manner. The release date was set for a sunny October morning. A group of rangers escorted Nuru to the safety of the vast grasslands. Cypher opened the cage door, his eyes full of faith in the lion cub he once saved. Nuru slowly stepped out, taking a deep breath of the fresh air of freedom. He turned his head back, his eyes shining as if to say a final thank you. Then suddenly, he sped off towards the vast green fields. Cypher and David stood still, watching until his figure disappeared. They knew Nuru was now strong enough to survive in the wild. His story quickly spread throughout Messina, becoming a symbol of hope and life. In front of David's clinic, a new sign was hung. Every life matters. And somewhere in the middle of the grasslands, Nuru began to write the next chapter of his free life. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to watch our story. If you find it interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episodes.